Hey everyone, it's Andrew here from AppleInsider, and we are talking about the new iPad Pro and comparing the new model to the previous generation. So specifically looking at the new 2020 iPad Pros against the 2018 iPad Pros. This is actually the longest span between iPad Pro models. They were pretty much on a year-by-year span. Apple would update them, new specs, new features, all that jazz. But this time, it was almost a year and a half or so between the kind of technically third generation and the fourth generation device, which Apple is now technically calling the new ones like the second generation of the iPad Pro. It's the second generation with the new design that we saw with the 2018 models. So regardless of what you want to call them, we're talking 2020 iPad Pros versus the 2018 iPad Pros. Now, we already have done kind of a rundown of all the new features of the new tablets, so we're really kind of focusing here on just comparing the two models and just highlighting really how these two differ and, more importantly, how they are the same. Let's go ahead and dive into it. So from the outside, these guys are going to be pretty much identical. A lot of what you see between the two is going to be the same. The fronts all look the same, the displays are the same, there's liquid retina displays, all the same between the two. So if you're looking for just the best display, there's no difference between the two models of iPad Pro. Go ahead and choose whichever one you want. Get the older model and save some cash, or pick up the new ones. There's going to be no difference in the display. Now what you will notice as a physical difference is that camera on the outside. So the new camera is a kind of rounded square camera bump similar to what we see on the iPhone 11 Pro and iPhone 11 Pro Max. It's because it has now that wide angle lens and the new 10 megapixel ultra wide lens. So the ultra wide lens is what is new, as well as the LiDAR sensor. That LiDAR sensor is allowing it to help kind of 3D map the room around you. So whether you're using that for AR capabilities, the Measure app, or if you're just using it for something basic like scanning documents. What is that going to mean for you, whether you have the new one or the old one? Well, it likely means that any cases destined for the new 2020 iPad Pros will also work on the previous generation 2018 iPad Pros. But cases designed for the 2018 iPad Pros will not fit the newer 2020 iPad Pros, just because, again, of that camera bump. So if they have that round cutout and you have the new models, it's not going to fit. You can't put a square camera in a round hole. So aside from that physical difference on the outside, what else is going to separate these two tablets apart? Well, the new model has upgraded the processor. It's gone from the A12X Bionic processor to the newer A12Z Bionic processor. It now has 8 cores of graphics power in there, but it is otherwise still very similar to the A12 processor or the A12X processor we saw in the 2018 iPad Pros. So performance-wise, there's likely not going to be a huge jump between the two. So we're going to see a lot of similar performance between the two. We'll know more when we can further benchmark these two tablets. But don't expect a huge difference in performance between the two. You're maybe going to notice it more in graphics. So if you're doing photo editing or video editing, you're going to see a little bit more performance there. Otherwise, it's going to maybe run a little bit cooler, maybe get a little bit better battery life, or stay at that higher clock speed for longer. Then we have 6 gigs of RAM across all the tablets. So in the old 2018 models, it was only the high end, the 1 terabyte capacity that had 6 gigs of RAM. Now every one of the new iPad Pros has 6 gigs of RAM inside. That should help keep apps open longer, more pages, more apps cached in the background. But really, again, there's not going to be a huge difference in day-to-day usage. The new iPad Pros also have adopted the U1 chipset in there, so that'll be helpful for maybe airdropping and possibly Apple tags in the future. But right now, there's not a lot going on with that U1 chip. We also have Wi-Fi 6 in the updated iPads, so if you have a Wi-Fi 6 router or plan to upgrade to a Wi-Fi 6 router, that is going to be very helpful in the new iPads. The last generation iPads were capped at 802.11ac, so essentially Wi-Fi 5, Wi-Fi 6, 802.11ac versus AX. So AX Wi-Fi 6 is going to really be beneficial in crowded environments. We have a lot of devices on there. That's going to be most beneficial, and you're going to see those speed gains. But otherwise, not a huge difference there in Wi-Fi performance, especially if you only have a Wi-Fi AC router in your home. Finally, we have the new Magic Keyboard. Now this thing looks awesome. It's got backlit keys, mechanical keys with 1 mm of key travel, a built-in trackpad, the adjustable stand, an additional USB-C port. It's got a lot of great stuff here. But here's the thing. It works on both the previous generation and the new generation iPad Pro, which means if you have a 2018 iPad Pro, you can go ahead and pick up that Magic Keyboard and just use it on your old iPad. So as far as Magic Keyboard support goes, there is no difference. The new one and the old one will be updated to iPadOS 13.4, which brings full cursor support and support for Bluetooth peripherals such as mice and trackpads. So all of that will come across both devices, and there is no difference in actual usage. So choose whichever one you'd like in that regard, because it's just going to work either way. So the 2020 iPad Pro versus the 2018 iPad Pro. There are a few differences, and a lot of them are important, but it just depends on what you're using it for if that's going to be important to you. So no matter which one you pick up, you can't go wrong. These are great tablets, and they're going to give you excellent performance. There's a ton of apps available, a ton of great accessories, and we can't wait to explore them further. So let me know what you guys think. Are there any other big differences that you would like to see in an updated version of the iPad Pro down the line? Let me know over on Twitter at Andrew_OSU. Hey everyone, did you guys like that video? Be sure to click on that like button so we can create content that we know that you guys want to see. And follow Apple Insider on all social media channels. If you want the best prices on any Apple gear, check out the Apple Insider price guide that is updated daily. And until next time, we'll see you later.